So in this video, we will solve O-Level Mathematics Paper 1. This is October-November 2017 and it's the second variant of the paper. So let's start. Question number 1 is you have to evaluate this expression. So this is 6 over 7 minus 3 over 5. So if I take the LCM, there is no common factor between 7 and 5. So the LCM would be simply 7 times 5, which is 35. And then since you multiplied by 5 here in the denominator, you multiplied 7 by 5, you have to multiply 6 by 5 as well. So 6 times 5 and then minus. So since you multiplied the denominator here by 7, you multiplied 5 by 7 to get 35. So you have to multiply the numerator 3 by 7 as well. So 3 times 7. So this will be equal to 6 times 5 is 30. Minus 7 times 3 is 21. So this will be 30 minus 21 over 35. And 30 minus 21 is 9. So this will be 9 over 35. Part B is evaluate this expression. So the best way to do these types of evaluation where you have decimals involved, I prefer to convert them into fractions. So if I remove this decimal, that means I have to move it two places to the right. So this becomes 90 divided by 45 over 100 because I moved the decimal two places to the right. So this becomes 45 over 100. So this is essentially equals to 90 divided by 45 over 100. And then if I change this division sign to multiplication, I will get 90 into multiplied by this 100. I'll take the reciprocal. 100 goes into the numerator and 45 in the denominator. 45 times 1 and 45 times 2 is 90 and 2 times 100 is 200. So this will be 200. So question number 2 is the masses in kilograms of 20 parcels sent by our dispatch center are given in the table. By using tally marks or otherwise complete the group frequency distribution for these masses. So the first row is the mass between 3, which is greater than 3 but less than equal to 5. So let's count how many packages have mass between 3 and 5. So this is 4.2, so this is 1. This is greater than 5. I continue, the next one is this, so 2, and then this is also between 3 and 5, 3, and then this 3.2, and then this 4.8, so this, and then this 3.2, and then this 4.7. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 between which are greater than 3 but less than equal to 5. The next one is between 5 and 7. So greater than 5 but less than equal to 7. So let's see. So this one 5.3, 5.1, 2, and this is greater than 7. This 5.7, 3, 4.1, this 5.9 here, 4, this 5.6 here, this 3.2, no, this is not. This would be the next one, 6.9. This 6.2 as well. And then this 5.4 here. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the last one is greater than 7 but less than equal to 9. So let's see. This is greater than 7. So I can write this one. This is greater than 7 as well. This is also greater than 7 and less than equal to 9. And then this one 8.4 here. And then this 8 here as well. And that's it. So 8 plus 5, 13 plus 7, 20. So we counted all 20 parcel. So this is your frequency, 7, 8, and 5. The results are to be shown in a pie chart. Calculate the angle of the sector representing the group with the smallest frequency. So the group with the smallest frequency is this 5. So since you have 20 parcels, so if you have 20 parcels, they will be represented by 360 degrees in the chart. So this is your pie chart, and the full 360 degree is represented by 20 parcels. And we have to find the angle for the smallest frequency, which is 5. So yeah, the angle in the pie chart for the smallest frequency, which is 5, will be 5 over 20 into 360. So zeros cancel out here, and then 2 times 1, 2 times 18, and 18 times 5 is, let me calculate here, 8 times 5 is 40, 4 carry, 5 ones are 5, 9, so 90. So 90 degrees. So this angle here will be 90 degree, which represents these 5 parcels. So your answer here is 90 degree. Question number 3 is y is inversely proportional to x. So y can be written as, so in fact, let me first write y is inversely proportional to x. So that means y is directly proportional to 1 over x. And this can be written as y equals to some constant k times k over x. So given that y equals to 1 by 6 when x equals to 30, find y when x equals to 10. So first we need to find the value of k. We can use these two values of y and x. So y is 1 by 6 when when x is 30. So k over 30. So I just substitute the value of y and x in the equation. So I get this. So this gives me k equals to, I cross multiply here. So 6k equals to 30. And then this gives me k equals to 5. So now your equation is y is equals to 5 over x. Now you have to find the value of y when x equals to 10. So y equals to 5 over 10, and this gives you 1 over 2. So 1 over 2. So let's move on to the next question. Question 4 is find f of 1 over 2. So you're given f of x equals to x over 4. So f of 1 over 2 would be equal to, I simply substitute the value of x here with 1 by 2. So 1 over 2, this whole thing divided by 4. And I can write it as 1 by 2 divided by 4. Or I can change this into a multiplication sign and take the reciprocal of this 4. So this becomes 1 by 2 multiplied by 1 by 4, which is equals to 1 over 8. 1 over 8. Find f inverse of x. So let y equals to f of x. And if I take this f to the other side, this gives me f inverse of y equals to x. So now let's use this first. Y equals to f of x means y equals to f of x is given by x over 4. And if I make x the subject of this equation, I get x equals to 4y. And I know that x is f inverse of y. So let's substitute x here with f inverse of y equals to 4y. And now since f inverse of y is 4y, I can simply write f inverse of x as, I'll substitute y with x, so 4x. So f inverse of x is 4x. Question number 5 is the timetables for buses from A to E calling at B, C, D is given below. So you have a bus leaving at A, and then it stops at B and leaves at 8:33 at B, and then it goes through C at 8:48, and then D at 9:05, then E arrives at E at 9:20. And so it's leaving every 30 minutes until this time. How many minutes does each journey from A to E take? So how long is this journey? So your arrival time at E is 9:20 and you depart A at 8:12. So your journey time would be 9:20 minus 8:12. 8:12. So let's solve this. 9:20 minus 8:12. So this is 9:20 minus 8:12. So this is correct, yeah. So 20 minus 12 will give you 10 minus 2 is 8, and 2 minus 1 is, sorry, this is 10 minus 2, so I take a carry, so 1 minus 1 is 0, and 9 minus 8 is 1, and 0 minus 0 is 0. So it takes 1 hour and 8 minutes. 1 hour and 8 minutes. But the answer is needed in minutes. So I can write 1 hour as minutes. So this will be 60 plus 8 equals to 68 minutes. 68 minutes. So your answer here will be 68. Part B is Sharon has an appointment at D at 3:30. So this point D, what is the latest time she can catch a bus from B? So let's look at the bus arrival times at D. So it's arriving at 9:05, then 9:35, and every 30 minutes. So that means it's 5 minutes after the hour mark and 35 minutes after the hour mark, meaning it will be arriving at so 9:05, then 9:35, then 10:05, then 10:35, and so on. So if the appointment is at 3:30 p.m., she cannot reach at 3:35. So the closest bus is arriving around 3:30 is at 3:35 p.m. 3:35 p.m. because there's a bus at 35 minutes after the hour mark, and the other one is 3:05 p.m. right? So she cannot take this bus because this is after the appointment. So she has to arrive at D on the bus that arrives at point D at 3:05 p.m. So the bus that arrives 5 minutes after the hour mark, so we can see here the one that arrives at 9:05, it departed it departed B at 8:33, right? So that means the one that's arriving at 3:05, it will depart B at 1 hour minus, which is 2, and then 33 at 2:33 p.m. So you can look at the pattern here that the bus that arrives at 9:05 departs B at 8:33. So the one that's arriving at 3:05 will depart B at 2:33 p.m. So your answer here will be 2:33 p.m. If it's not clear from the pattern, you can actually calculate the value as well. So you've established that Sharon has to arrive at the bus on the bus that arrives at point D at 3:05 p.m. So you can calculate how long is the journey from B to D using these two values. So journey from B to D, journey time in fact, is uh, 9:05 minus 8:33, 0833. So if I bring, so this becomes 8, and this I add 60 here, so this becomes 65. 65 minus 33. 5 minus 3 is 2, 6 minus 3 is 3, and this is 0, 0. So it takes 32 minutes for every bus to that departs at B and arrives at D. So if your arrival time at D is 3:05 p.m., 3:05, so let's write this in the 24-hour clock format, which is 15:05, and then your journey time is 32 minutes. So you will get the departure time, which is 5. So I have to carry here. So this becomes 14. This becomes 65. 5 minus 2 is 3, and then 6 minus 3 is 3, and then 14:33. So if you're arriving at 3:05, which is 15:05 in 24-hour clock format, if you're arriving at 15:05 and if you want to arrive at 15:05 and your journey takes 32 minutes, that means you have to depart from B at 14:33, which is exactly the same as 2:33 p.m. that I've written here. So either you can look at the pattern here that the bus arriving at 9:05 departed at 8:33. So the bus arriving at 3:05 will depart B at 2:33, or you can calculate the journey time between D and B, and then you know the arrival time. So your departure time would be just the arrival time minus the journey time to get the departure from point B. So both cases will give you the same answer. So your answer is 2:33 p.m., or you can write it in 24-hour clock format, which is 14:33 here. So let's move on to question number 6 here. The diagram shows a scale from 3.8 till 3.9 divided into 5 equal parts. What is the value at the mark labeled P? So how many marks are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 5, you can say, boxes here between 3.8 and 3.9. So how many what's the value of one box? It's similar to how you do this in like finding the values on x or y axis in your graph questions, where you have to determine what's the value of each small square. So here the difference is what? 3.9 minus 3.8. This is the total difference, and it's represented by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces, 5 equal parts. So you have 5 parts. So this is 0.1 divided by 5, which is, so let's me continue here. So 0.1 divided by 5 would be 0. I cannot divide 1 by 5, so I add another 0, and then I can add here 10. Oops. Let me erase this. So now this is 10. So 5 times 2 is 10, and this becomes 0. So this is 0.02. So each of this represents 0.02, and this is also 0.02, this is also 0.02, this is also 0.02, and this is also 0.02. So we have to find the value of the mark labeled P. So this is 3.8 plus 0.02 plus another 0.02. So it's plus 0.02 plus 0.02. 0.02 plus 0.02 is 0.04. So 3.8 plus 0.04, which is equals to 3.84. So your answer here is 3.84. The point X and Y lie on the line AB. So this is your line AB, such that AX ratio XY ratio YB is 3 to 4. So this is divided into 3 parts. So first is 3, the other second one is 2 parts, and the last one is 4 parts. So if this whole length is, let's say, if this whole length is 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 4, 9. So if this whole length is 9, this AX would be 3, this XY would be 2, this YB would be 4. So AX is 3 by 9 of AB, 2 by 9 of XY is 2 by 9 of AB, and YB is 4 by 9 of AB. Or you can say AX is 3 parts, XY is 2 parts, and YB is 4 parts. So you're given that AB is 18 centimeter, find XY. So XY is how much? 2 over 9. So XY is 2, and the total we have is 9 parts. So out of those 9 parts, 2 belong to XY. The XY length is 2 parts out of the total 9. And AB is given as 18. So this will be 2 by 9 into 18, which is 9 times 1, 9 times 2, which is equals to 4. Or you can use the ratio method as well. So your total parts are 9. So 9 is represented by what? AB is 18 centimeter. 18 centimeter, and you have to find how many centimeters are 2 parts. So 2 ratio x, and then you cross multiply because these are directly proportional. if the number of parts, or if the fraction value of your length increases, your actual length increases as well. So you cross multiply, you get 9x equals to 18 times 2, and then this also gives you x equals to 4. So this is 4 centimeter. Question number 7 is, in the diagram ABC is parallel to DEFG. So ABC, this line here, is parallel to this, represented by these arrows as well. BC and BE are equal, so this length and this length are equal. ACE is 35 and BFG is 102. Find angle CBF. So CBF is this angle here. And since these lines ABC and DEFG are parallel, and I know this is 102 degrees, so this is a line intersecting these two parallel lines. So I can use the property that the sum of interior angles of parallel lines is 180. So CBF plus 102 should be equal to 180. And this gives me CBF equals to, oops, CBF equals to 180 minus 102, which is equals to 78 degree. So CBF is 78. So it's a good idea to mark the angles that you have already calculated, because most of the times these will be used in the next parts. So if you know that you have calculated this angle, it makes it easier to visualize any other unknown angles that you need to calculate, and if you have to use this previous value as well. So this is 78. Part B is find angle ABE. So ABE is this angle here. So let's see what other angles I can find. So since this is 35, I can easily say these sides are equal. So this is 35 as well. Oops. So this is 35 degrees as well. And since I know, so if I look at this triangle EBC, this triangle here, EBC, I know two of the angles. So I can calculate this angle here, marked in green, using the property that sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180. So if I know this green angle, the red one is that I'm looking for. So if I know this green angle, green plus red should be equal to 180, because this is a straight line. So angle EBC, let's say EBC plus 35 would be equals to 180. 35 plus 35 is 70. So EBC would be equals to 180 minus 70, which is 110 degrees. So I know that this green angle is 110. So angle ABE, the one that we need to find, plus this green angle, which is 110, should equal 180 degrees, because they lie on a straight line. So ABE would be equal to 180 minus 110, which is 70 degrees. So this angle here would be 70. Moving on to question 8. 30 students were asked on how many days they ate pasta last week. The results are given below. So 9 students ate pasta on 0 days. 6 students ate pasta on one day in last week, and so on. So at the last here we have 2 students who ate pasta 5 days in a week. So we have to find the mod. So mod is basically the value with the highest frequency. So highest frequency is 9. So your value, number of days, 0, is your mod. Part B is find the median value. So we don't know how many students were in this survey, you can say. So let's calculate total students first. So median is the mid value. So to find the mid value, we first need to know how many total students are there. So you add up all the frequencies, 9 plus 6 plus 7 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2. So this is 9 plus 6, 15 plus 7, 22. 22 plus 4, 26, 28, and 30. So total students are 30. So if I find the mid value would be 30 divided by 2, which is 15. Since your total number of students is an even number, that means your median is the 15th value plus you take the next value, which is the 16th value, and then divide by 2, take the average of the two. So now you need to find what's the 15th and the 16th value. So if you look at the table here, the values are already sorted from smallest to largest. So 0 here is smallest value and the largest value is 5. So you do not need to rearrange these values because they're already arranged in ascending order from smallest to largest. So if you look at the frequency here, so the first value is 0 and it has frequency 9. So that means values from 1 till ninth value, you will have 0. And then what's the next one? The next value is 1. And how many ones are there? 6. So if you add 9 plus 6, 15. So you start with the 10th value here and you go up till the 15th value. So all the values from 10th till 15th will be 1. And then you add 7 to this 15, you get 22. So your 16th value up till your 22nd value, all these will be 2. So let me just partition them so it's a bit more clear. So you don't need to go any further because you're only looking for the 15th and 16th value. So where does the 15th value lie? Here is the 15th value and this is 1. So your 15th value is 1 and your 16th value is here. So 16th value is 2. So you get 1 plus 2 divided by 2, which is 3 over 2, which is 1.5. So if it's not clear from this, you can actually expand this and write all the values, and then you can basically see which is the 15th and 16th value. So I can quickly do that here as well. So how many zeros do I have? I have 9 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I have 6 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I have 7 twos. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I can count and see which is the 15th and 16th value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is the 15th and this is the 16th, which is exactly the same 1 and 2 that I got here. So if you want, you can like write these intervals as well, where you can see here that all the values from the first value till the ninth value will be 0. All the values from 10th value till 15th value will be 1. So if you have like 13th value, which still lies in this interval, so your 13th value will be 1 as well. So you can use these intervals to get the values you want, or if it doesn't make if it's not clear through this, you can actually expand, write all the values and then count to the 15th and 16th value and use those. So your values were 1 and 2 and you added them, then divide by 2 to get a value of 1.5. So your median value is 1.5. Question number 9 is the area of a rectangle is given as 8 centimeter square. Correct to the nearest centimeter square. Write down the lower bound for the area of the rectangle. So your degree of accuracy is to nearest 1 centimeter square. So your error is always your degree of accuracy 1, which is 1 in this case, and then divide by 2. So your error is 0.5. So your lower bound for area would be 8, which is calculated here, given here, and the error, which is minus 0.5. So you subtract the error from the given value. So your lower bound for the area will be 7.5 centimeter square. So the answer is 7.5. Part B is the width of the rectangle is given as 2 centimeter. Correct to the nearest centimeter. Calculate the lower bound for the length of the rectangle. So you're given the width, you're given the area, so you have to calculate the lower bound of the length. So what is the area of a rectangle? Area is equals to length multiplied by width. So since you have to calculate length, so length becomes equals to area divided by the width. So you have to find the lower bound. So the minimum possible value of the length. So how can you minimize how can you minimize the value of the length if your area is in the numerator, minimum possible value of area, and since you are dividing by the width here, so the maximum possible value of the width. So the lower bound, so your goal is to basically minimize the value of this fraction. How can you minimize the value of a fraction? By taking the lowest possible value of the numerator and the highest possible value of the denominator. So lower bound for length will be minimum, or let me say lower bound of area. So you're minimizing the value of the numerator divided by the upper bound of the width. So what's the lower bound of the area? You calculated it in part A, which is 7.5. And then you need the upper bound of the width. So let's calculate the upper bound of width. This would be equal to the width, which is 2 centimeters. So 2, and the upper bound is plus the error. So your error is your degree of accuracy is 1 centimeter. So your error is 1 divided by 2, which is 2.5 centimeter. So your upper bound of width is 2.5 centimeter. So you get 7.5 divided by 2.5. And I can move the decimal, multiply it by 10 in the denominator, and then multiply by 10 in the numerator as well. So you get 75 over 25, which is 3. So your lower bound for the length of the rectangle is 3 centimeter. So you get 3 here. So by making suitable approximations, calculate an estimate for this expression. Show clearly the approximation you use and give your answer correct to one significant figure. So we can, since you are not allowed to use calculator, so we can approximate this 40.32 into 40 to make the multiplications easier. And we know that the closest perfect square root to, perfect square that is closest to 35.7 is 36. And then we can round up this 2,980 to 3,000 to make our calculations pretty easy. So square root of 36 is 6. So you get 40 into 6 divided by 3,000. And then if you multiply 40 by 6, you get 240 divided by 3,000. 0, 0 cancel out. So 24 and 300 are both divisible by 3. So 3 times 8 is 24. And 3 times 1 and 100 is 300. So you get 8 over 100. And then it's an easy division by 100. So you move the decimal 2 places to the left. So you get 0.08. And this is already one significant figure. So this is the first significant figure, and there's nothing non-zero towards the right of it. So your answer is 0.08, correct to one significant figure. So question number 11 is the mean age of Ali, Ben, and Chris is 14 years and 3 months. Dai's age is 15 years and 3 months. Calculate the mean age of the 4 people. So you're given the mean age of these 3. So the mean is, so let's first calculate the mean for these 3 so that we can get the sum. So if I get Ali's age plus Ben's age plus Chris's age, so there are 3 ages that I'm adding up, and divide by 3, I should get 14 years and 3 months. So let me convert everything into months so that the calculations are easier. So 14 into 12 months will give me 4 twos are 8, 2 ones are 2, 4 ones are 4, 1 1. So 8 6 168. So 14 years is 168 months, and then plus 3 will give me 171. So 171. So let me call this the sum of three ages of Ali, Ben, and Chris is equals to 171 into 3, which is 171 times 3 is 3 ones are 3, 7 threes are 21, 3 ones are 3, 513. So your sum here is 513. Now you want to calculate the mean age of the four people after you add Dai's age as well. So let me, so what would be the mean age of four people? I need sum of all four ages, and then divided by 4 should give me the mean, right? So what's the sum of all four ages? I know the sum of these three ages is 513. So I can write the sum of all four ages would be sum of the first three ages, Ali's, Ben's, and Chris's age. If you sum them together, you get 513 plus uh, Dai's age is 15 years and 3 months. So let's calculate this in months as well. So 15 into 3, oh, sorry, 15 into 12. So this would be 15 times 12. This should give you 5 twos are 10, 30, and then 15. So 0, 8, 180 plus 3 months. So you get 183. So Dai's age in months is 183, and then you divide them by 4. So 513 plus 183. 513 plus 183 will give you 3 plus 3 6, 8 plus 1 9, 5 plus 1 6. So 696 divided by 4. So let me do this division here. So 696 divided by 4. So 4 times 1 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. Then bring this down, 29. 7 times 4 is 28. 1, and then bring the 6 down. 4 fours are 16. So this is actually 174 months. So the mean age of all four people is 174 months, but you need to write the age in years and months. So let me quickly convert this into years and months. So I need to find 174 divided by 12. So 12 ones are 12. Since there are 12 months in 1 year, so I need to convert this into years. So I divide 174 by 12. I get 5 here and then 54. So 12 fours are 48. So 14 minus 8 is 6, and then this is 0. So your answer is 14 years, and the remainder here is 6. So 14 years and 6 months is your average age for the, or the mean age for these four people. So let's move on to question number 12. A power x is given as 5. So you have to find a power 2x. So your given value is a power x, so I have to express this here in terms of a power x, so that once I have this expression in terms of a power x, I can substitute the value 5 in place of a power x. So how can you write a power 2x in terms of a power x? You can write a power x, since 2 is being multiplied here, so I can take the whole square. If I open the bracket, I bring this 2 in, so this again becomes a power 2x. So now I know that a power x is 5, so I substitute 5 here and then the square. So 5 squared is 25. So this is 25. Find a power minus x. So again, you have to express this in terms of a power x. So how can I change a power minus x into a power x? I can take the reciprocal, I can bring this a power minus x into the denominator. So this becomes a power x. So I brought this a power minus x into the denominator here. And if I bring it back up into the numerator, this power again is multiplied by -1 and I get a power minus x. So now I can substitute the value of a power x, which is 5. So 1 over 5 is your answer. Or if you want, you can write it in decimal as 0.2. Moving on to question number 13. The distribution of the lengths of time spent on the internet on a Monday by each member of a group of students is given in the table below. So this is your table in which your time is given in these intervals. So k number of people spend between 10 and 30 minutes. 50 people spend 30 to 40 minutes on internet on a Monday. And then 30 people spend between 40 and 50 minutes. And then again 30 people spend between 50 and 80 minutes. The histogram represents some of this information. You have to find the value of k. So your frequency density for the first interval, which is 10 to 30, is given here. You can get it from the histogram. This is 2. So you know that frequency density is equals to the frequency divided by the interval length. So in this case, your frequency density is 2. So 2 equals 2, and your frequency here is k. And your interval length is 30 minus 10. So this interval length here is, or this one here that I have already drawn here is 30 minus 10, which is 20. So from this equation, you can get k equals to, if I take 20 to the other side, k equals to 40. Part B is complete the histogram. So we have the bars for the first two intervals. As for the third interval, the frequency is 30. So 30, and your interval length is how much? 50 minus 40, which is 10. So you get 30 by 10, which is 3. So from 40 to 50, your height is 3 here that you have calculated. This is your frequency density. 30 by 10, 3. So this will be your height of your histogram between 40 and 50. And the next one is the frequency is, so let me write this again, frequency density would be your frequency 30 divided by the interval length, which is 80 minus 50, which is 30 as well. So your frequency density is 1 between 50 and 80. So 1 between 50 and 80. So this is your complete histogram now. Question number 14 is find the two solutions of this inequality x over 3 minus 1 is less than 3x over 4, which are negative integers. So let's solve this inequality for x. So I can take the LCM on the left hand side. My LCM would be 3. This would become x minus, since I multiplied by 3 the denominator of 1, I'll multiply this numerator 1 by 3 as well. So this becomes x minus 3 less than equal to 3x over 4. So let me cross multiply now. So this becomes 4 times x minus 3 is less than 9x. If I open this bracket, I get 4x minus 12 is less than 9x. So if I bring this 9x here and take this 12 on the other side, so I can find the value of x. So this becomes 4x minus 9x is less than plus 12. So let me continue here. 4x minus 9x will be minus 5x less than 12. And then I'll multiply by minus so that I can take this minus to the other side. And you know the rule, once you multiply by negative sign on both sides of inequality, the inequality switches as well. So this becomes 5x. So this was less than, this becomes greater than minus 12. And then x is greater than minus 12 over 5. So let me divide 12 by 5. 5 2s are 10. 2 remainder decimal, bring it down, and then this is 5 times 4 is 20, 0. So x is greater than minus 2.4. So x has any value which is greater than minus 2.4. But you're looking for values which are negative integers. So what are the negative integers that are greater than minus 2.4? So if you have this number line here, you have minus 3, you have minus 2, you have minus 1, you have 0, and then you have positive values 1. So where is minus 2.4? Minus 2.4 would be somewhere here, minus 2.4. So these all the values towards the right are greater than minus 2.4. So what are the two negative integers that x can possibly that can be possible values of x? So any values greater than 2.4 minus 2.4 that are also negative is this minus 2 and this minus 1. So these are the only two negative integers that satisfy this inequality. So your answer will be minus 2 and minus 1. So question number 15 is the diagram shows a figure made from 5 identical triangles. The figure has rotational symmetry. Write down the order of rotational symmetry. So let me bring this diagram here. So this is exactly the same diagram as in this question paper. So how do you find the order of rotational symmetry? You take the diagram and you rotate it 360 degrees, and you count the number of times that the diagram looks exactly the same as in its original orientation once you are rotating it. So let me show you right here. So I take this diagram, which is this original one here. So let me rotate it and see when do I get the original shape back. So if I keep rotating and if I stop here, now you can see this, it looks exactly the same as this original orientation. So this is 1. So you're counting the number of times it looks exactly the same as the original one. So I keep rotating, and I stop here. Now this is again looking the same as this original diagram. So this is 2. Then I start to rotate again, keep rotating. Then I stop here, right about here. And this again looks the same as this. So now 3. So you're basically just counting. And then again at this location, at this orientation, it also again looks the same. So now 4, and then back to full 360 degree, and then it looks again the same. So 5. So once I rotated this diagram a full 360 degrees, there were 5 occasions where it looked exactly the same as the original diagram. So the rotational order of rotational symmetry is 5. So since you won't have like this computer in your exam, what you can do is you can rotate your question paper. You can draw this diagram on a separate rough sheet, or just remember this in your brain. I think it's better to draw it on a rough sheet so that you can do the comparison the same way as I was doing. So draw the original diagram on a rough sheet and then start rotating your rough sheet or the question paper, and count the number of times during that rotation. Uh, Count the number of times the shape looks exactly the same as the original diagram, like I did here. So if this is your, let's say, your rough sheet and this is your original question paper, you start rotating it and just count 1, and this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and then this is the 5th time. Remember, you have to count the full 360 degrees. So once you rotate the full 360 degrees, it's obvious it will be the same as the original diagram because you have rotated it full 360 degrees, but you have to still count that as well. So during this rotation, there were 5 times that the diagram looked exactly the same as the original one. So my order of rotational symmetry would be 5 in this case. So this here is 5. Part B is each marked angle is 110 degrees. Find the angles of one of the triangles. So you have to find all 3 angles of any triangle. Since all are identical, they will be the same for each of the triangles. So each marked angle, so let's take this one. This is 110 degrees. And since this is a straight line, you can straight away say that this would be 180 minus 110, which is 70 degrees, right? So now you have calculated one angle, you have to calculate the other two as well. So if I calculate just one of these two, I can find the third one by using the property of triangle where the sum of all angles is 180 degrees. So if I look at this angle, let's call this angle X. So this angle X is on the, so this, the angle that I found, this is 70 degrees. There's a shorter side here, and then there's a longer side here. So the side that is the shorter one, that connects it to the angle X. So if I look at this angle, this is also 70 because this is marked as 110. So this is also 70, and this is the shorter side, right? So what's the angle towards the shorter side? If this is X, then this is X as well. And then similarly, this is 70, and on the shorter side I have the angle X, and then this is 70 again on the shorter side of this triangle. So remember, I am taking this triangle here now. So the shorter side is this one, and this is also, so this will also be X, since all the triangles are identical we are given in the question. So this is 70 again, since this is 110. So the shorter side is this, so this is X again. So the full 360 degree is represented by X. How many X? 5. So 5X would be equals to 360 degrees. So X would be 360 divided by 5, which is 72. So your second angle is 72. So then you can find the third angle. Let's call that Y. Y plus 72 plus 70 would be 180. So Y would be 180. 72 plus 70 is 142. So this, oh, sorry, this would be 180 minus 142, which is 38 degrees. So your three angles are 70, 72, and then 38. 70 degrees, 72 degrees, and then 38 degrees. So question number 16 is write the number 360 million in standard form. So 360 million would be 360, and then if I add three more zeros, I get 360,000. Then if I add three more zeros, I get 360 million. You can double check if you have written it correctly as well. So units, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, 100 million. So this is actually 360 million. So to represent this in standard form, I need my decimal at this point to make it 3.6. So if I have to move this decimal to the left, how many places do I have to move? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this will be equals to 3.6 into, I move the decimal places, decimal 8 places to the left, so I will get 10 power positive 8. So your answer is 3.6 into 10 power 8. Part B is express each answer in standard form. So you're given P and Q. You have to find the value of P multiplied by Q in standard form. So P multiplied by Q would be 5 into 10 power 9 multiplied by 9 into 10 power 6 minus 16. So 5 times 9 is 45, and then you're multiplying, so you will add these powers. So this will be 10 into 9 plus minus 16, which will be 45 times 9 minus 16 would be minus 5, or in fact minus 7. 9, yeah, minus 7. So now you have 45 into 10 to the power minus 7. But this is still not in standard form, since we know that standard form is given by a into 10 power n, where the value of a is greater than equal to 1 or and less than 10. So this is 45, which is greater than 10. So I need my decimal here between 4 and 5. That means I have to move it one place to the left. So if I move it to one place to the left, I actually increase the power of my 10 by 1. So I moved it one place to the left. So I will add 1 to the power of 10. So this becomes minus 7 plus 1 would be minus 6. So 4.5 into 10 power minus 6 will be your answer. Part 2 is you have to find the under root of q. So q is given by 9 into 10 power minus 16, and you have to find the under root here. So if I find the under root, which is the same as 9 into 10 power minus 16 power 1 by 2. So if I bring the powers inside, I will get 9 power 1 by 2 into 10 power minus 16 by 2. So under root of 9 would be uh, plus or minus 3. So you can write plus minus 3 into 10 power minus 16 by 2 will give you minus 8. So your answer is plus minus, oops, let me correct this. So this is 10 power minus 16 over 2 is minus 8. So this will give you plus minus 3 into 10 power minus 8 will be your answer. So question number 17 is find 110% of 170. So 110% of 170 will be given as 1 by 10. So you remove the percentage sign, you divide it by 100. Of 70 means multiplied by 70. So this 0 cancels out, this 0 cancels out, and 7 times 11 is 77. So your answer is 77. Part B is when new a car was worth $15,000. After 1 year, it was worth $12,000. Calculate the percentage reduction in its value. So you have to find the percentage decrease in value of the car. So how do you find the percentage decrease? That is decrease in value by how much it decreased in dollar amount divided by the original value multiplied by 100. So how much is the decrease in value? If it was 15,000 and it decreased to 12,000, so your decrease would be 15,000 minus 12,000 and divided by the original value, which was 15,000. So you started at 15, so your original was 15,000. So this is divided by 15,000 and then multiplied by 100. So 15,000 minus 12,000 would be 3,000 divided by 15,000 into 100. So these three zeros and these three zeros cancel out. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 5 is 15. So you get 100 by 5, which is 20%. So your percentage decrease in the value of car was 20%. So question number 18 is an open rectangular tray has inside measurements. Length is 11, width is 6, and height is 5 centimeter. Calculate the total surface area of the four sides and base of the inside of the tray. So your surface area will include this left and right side, the front and the back side, and this bottom only. Since it's an open top, so you won't include the area of the top of this tray. So let me actually, so this would be your left and this would be your right side in the red here. And then let me mark this front side with green and this back side with green as well. And then your bottom here would be, this would be blue, which is this bottom layer, bottom side. So let's calculate the surface area. So for this red ones, your width is 6 and your height is given here, which is 5. So total surface area would be, so let's start with these red sides. So this one is 6 into 5. So 6 into 5, and then you will multiply it with 2 since there are two such sides. And then if you look at this green one here, this length here is 11, and then this height is 5, or this front one, this is 11 and this is 5. So you will add plus 11 into 5, and then again, since there are two green sides, which are this front one and the back one here, so this will be multiplied by 2 as well, plus this bottom one, which is 6 centimeter on one side, and then this 11 centimeter on this side. So plus 11 into 6, and you will not multiply it by 2 because this top here is open, so this is not included in the surface area. So your surface area will be 6 times 5 is 30, 2 times 30 plus 11 times 5 is 55, so 2 times 55 plus 11 times 6 is 66. So 2 times 30 is 60, 55 times 2 is 110 plus 66. So this will be 110 plus 126. This is 236 centimeter square will be your surface area. So you can write it here. Oops, 1 second. So this is 236 centimeter square. So part B is cubes are placed in the tray and a lid is placed on top. Each cube has an edge of 2 centimeter. Find the maximum number of cubes that can be placed in the tray. So let me just erase this so that I can draw for this part here. So by reading this question, you might think that you have to divide the volume of this whole tray by the volume of this cube. So volume of tray divided by volume of this one cube. However, this is not the case here, because a cube is a solid shape, and if you're dividing the volume of tray with volume of cube, you're assuming that the cubes will completely fill up this tray here, which can be not true, and this is the case here as well. Let me show you. So sometimes I remember in one of the other papers, there was a similar container, and you had to calculate the number of raindrops that could accumulate and fill up the tank. So since the raindrops were given as spheres, so in that case you could divide the volume of this tray or container by the volume of one raindrop, which is basically volume of a sphere, because in that case the raindrop is a liquid, and as soon as it falls down into the box, it spreads out. So if many of these raindrops are coming down and entering this tray here, they will eventually fill up the whole tray because it's a liquid. But in this case, you are adding cubes. So let's see how many cubes can fit into this box. So we are given that each cube has an edge of 2 centimeter. So that means if I place the cubes on the base of this box, let me divide this here into 3 equal parts like this. And each of this is 2 centimeter here, and this is also 2. So there will be 6 divided by 2, 3. You can draw 3 such rows, because this is the whole width here is 6 centimeters. So if you place one box here, one cube here, you can place another one here and a third one here. So this will completely fill up the base in this direction, because it's an even number and your width of one cube is 2 centimeter. So now let's look at in this direction. So you have 11 centimeter length in this direction. So that means if I divide it here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So if each of these is 2, this is also 2, this is also 2. So there will be 5 such columns, and this last one is remaining is 1, because this last one here will be 1 because your total length is 11. So 2 plus 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then this last one is 11. So this area marked in red here, this will be left empty, because you cannot fit a cube here that is 2 centimeter in length, but the length remaining here is 1 centimeter. So At the base of this tray, how many cubes can you fit? 5 can fit in this direction because uh, you have 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So how many there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you will fit in this direction, you will fit 5. Let me actually write it below here. So in this direction, you can fit 5 cubes. How many can you fit in this direction? So there are 3 rows, each of which 2 centimeter, and total is 6. Total is 6 centimeters. So you can fit 6 divided by 2. How many rows are there? 3. So at the base of this tray, you can have 5 in this direction, 5 cubes in this direction, and 3 cubes in this direction. So basically, you have cubes at each of these green spots here that I am shading in green. So you can place a cube at each of these spots. And how many spots are there? 5 into 3, 15. Now let's see how many can you stack on top of each other. So what's the height? 5. So if I place the first cube here, it will take 2 centimeter. And then if I place another one here, it will take another 2 centimeter. And you will be left by 1 centimeter at the top, and you cannot add another cube on top here because it will be 1 centimeter outside the box, because the cube is 2 centimeter in height. So 1 centimeter will be inside the box and 1 centimeter will be outside the box. So that means this 1 centimeter throughout at the top will be empty. So once you fill up this box, you will have a depth of 1 centimeter, which is empty before you have the cubes. So how many can you fit in this direction on stack on top of each other? Only 2. So you can have 5 in this direction, 3 in this direction, which is 15 at the base. And then if you have 15 at the base, then you can add another layer on top of it, which are another 15, which becomes equals to 30. And after that, you cannot add another layer on the top because that will make these small cubes protrude outside the box. So you cannot use this in this question, simply dividing the area of the tray by the cube, because cube is a solid, and as you see here, this red part and there is another red part at the top which will be left empty, and the cubes will not completely fill up this tray here. So number of cubes here are 5 in this direction, 3 in this, 5 into 3, and then 2 in this direction, which is 2. So you get 30 cubes. So your answer is 30 here. So 30 cubes, you can basically, 30 is the maximum number of cubes that can be placed in this tray. Question number 19 is, each time an archer fires an arrow, the probability that she hits the target is 0.7. She fires 2 arrows, complete the tree diagram. So if the probability to hit the target is 0.7, then probability to miss will be equal to 1 minus 0.7, which is 0.3. So your probability of missing is 0.3 and hit, and then the second arrow is also 0.7 probability it will hit, and then 0.3, and then again here 0.7 and 0.3 for missing. Find the probability that she hits the target twice. So you need to find the probability of hit and hit. So actually, let me write it more clearly, which is probability of first hit and second hit. So you have to find the probability that the archer hits the target the first time and also hits the target the second time, which is equals to, so first hit is this and the second hit is this. This is the only case where we will have a hit in both the first try and the second try. So this will be equals to probability of first hit multiplied by, because there is an and you're going in the onto the second stage of your probability tree diagram. So probability of second hit. What is the hit probability of first hit? 0.7. Probability of second hit is also 0.7. So 0.7 into 0.7 is 0.49. 0.49. The part two is she hits the target exactly once. So out of the two tries, what are the possibilities of getting exactly one hit? That is, you get the hit the first time and then you miss the second time. In this case, out of the two tries, you have exactly hit the target once. But there is also another case where you miss the first time but hit the second time. So in this case as well, you have hit the target exactly once. So probability of hitting, let's say, let's call it one second. Probability of exactly one hit is equals to probability of hit first hit and second miss, or which I am representing with a plus sign, because for all or we always replace it with plus, and for and we always replace it with multiply sign. So probability of first hit and second miss, or uh, this will be, or probability of first miss and second hit. So in both cases, after the two tries, we have hit the target exactly once. So what is the probability of first hit and second miss? First hit and second miss. First hit is, so this will be equal to, using this same principle here, first hit and second miss in this case. So we will multiply, this will be probability of first hit multiplied by probability of second miss. There's an and here, second miss, plus we can use the same principle here. So probability of first miss multiplied by probability of second hit. So now what is the probability of first hit? 0.7, and then multiplied by probability of second to be a miss is 0.3, plus probability of first miss is 0.3, and then multiply by probability of second hit is 0.7. So 0.7 times 0.3 is 0.21, 0.3 times 0.7 is 0.21, so this will give you 0.42. So your final answer is 0.42. This is the probability that the archer will hit the target exactly once out of the two tries. Question number 20 is the coordinates of P and M are given by this. Find the gradient of the line PM. So you're given 2 points. Let me call this y1 and x1, and let me call this x2 and y2. So your gradient M is equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, change in value of y divided by change in value of x. So y2 minus y1 is 4 minus 10 divided by x2 minus x1 is 0 minus 3. So 4 minus 10 is minus 6, and this becomes positive 3 and then minus 2. Part B is find the equation of the line PM. So you know the gradient already. So equation of a straight line is given by y equals to mx plus c. So you know the value of m is minus 2. So minus 2x plus c And then you can find this constant c here by using any of these coordinates. I will use this one because the x value is 0 here, so this will eliminate this term altogether. So let's use this point 0, 4 and replace the x and y value. So y value is 4. 4 equals to minus 2 times 0, x is 0 here, plus c. So this becomes 0 and c equals to 4. So your equation is y equals to minus 2x plus 4. Y equals to minus 2x plus 4. M is the midpoint of PQ. Find the coordinates of Q. So let's say the coordinates of Q are x and y. And you're given that M is the midpoint. So this coordinate 0, 4 is the midpoint of PQ. So how do you find the midpoint? You add up the x coordinates. So if you have two coordinates here, in this case, you have PQ. So midpoint of PQ will be equal to, you take the x coordinates of P and Q and add them together. So what are the x coordinates of P and Q? P is minus 3, Q is x, and then divide by 2 is your midpoint for the x value, and you do the same thing for the y value as well. So what's the y value of P? It's 4. Oh, sorry, it's 10 actually. Yeah, this is P. So this is 10. 10 plus y value of Q is y, and then divide by 2. And now you're given that midpoint of PQ is M. And what are the coordinates of M? 0 and 4. So 0 and 4 xy coordinate is equals to minus 3 plus x by 2 and then 10 plus y by 2. So we can equate these values. So you can equate this 0 with this, and then you can equate this 4 with this because this is the y coordinate. So now let's use the equations to find the value of x and y. So first let's find the x coordinate. So 0 equals to minus 3 plus x by 2. Minus 3 plus x by 2. So 2 into 0 is also 0, equals to minus 3 plus x. I take this 3 to the other side. You get x equals to 3. So your x coordinate is 3. And then for y, this 4 equals to 10 plus y by 2. 4 times 2 is 8 and equals to 10 plus y, and then y equals to 8 minus 10, which is minus 2. So your y coordinate of q is minus 2. So your answer would be 3 and minus 2. Question number 21 is express this as a single matrix. So you have this scalar being multiplied by this matrix minus 2 times this matrix. So let's first bring this in to bring these scalars inside to multiply them with the given matrix. So you multiply this 3 with each of the terms in the matrix. So 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times minus 5 is minus 15, 3 times minus 4 is minus 12, then minus, and then you again in a similar way bring 2 inside as well. So 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times minus 3 is minus 6, 0 is 0, 2 times 2 is 4. And then you subtract the corresponding values. So 9 minus 2, 3 minus plus 6. So it will become plus 6. So this will be 9 minus 2 is 7. 3 minus 6. So 3 plus 6 is 9. Minus 15 minus 0 is still minus 15. And minus 12 minus 4 is minus 16. So this will be your answer. 7, 9, minus 15, minus 16. Part B is find the inverse of this matrix. So how do you find the inverse? So inverse will be 1 over, let's call this matrix A. So 1 over determinant of A multiplied by the adjugate of A. So how do you find the determinant of A? Let's first find determinant of the matrix A. You multiply these two values. So this is minus 4 times 3. So minus 4 times 3, and you subtract the product of these two values. So this will be minus 5 times 1. Oh, this will be minus 5 times 1. So this is minus 12, and this becomes plus 5, which is equals to minus 12 plus 5 would be minus 7. And so how do you find the adjugate of A? You swap swap the positions of these two values, and then you change the signs of these two values. In fact, let me do this again. So you swap these two, and then you change the sign of this and this. So that's called the adjugate. So adjugate of this matrix A would be, uh, so I swap these two. So this becomes minus 4 comes here and 3 comes down here. And then I change the sign. So this becomes minus 1 and this becomes positive 5. So now the inverse is 1 over the determinant, 1 over minus 7. So this is minus 1 over 7. And then the adjugate is minus 4, minus 1, 5, and 3. And if you want, you can bring this 1 over minus 1 over 7 inside. So you get plus 4 by 7, plus 1 by 3, minus 5 by 7, minus 3 by 7. So this will be your final answer. 4 over 7, 1 by 3, minus 5 over 7, minus 3 over 7. Question number 22 is you have to factorize 9a square minus 6a. So although this 9a square is a square of 3a minus, I cannot write this as a complete square, so I cannot use the formula a square minus b square equals to a plus b into a minus b. This will not be applicable in this case. So what I can do is take 3a common, because both 9 and 6 are multiples of 3, and you also have a common in both these values. So if I take 3a common, this becomes equals to 3a minus 2. And you cannot simplify this any further, so this will be your final answer. Part B is factorize 4 minus 25t squares. Now here I can use this formula that I wrote in the first part, because 4 is also a complete square and 25 is also a complete square, and then you are given t square. So I can write this as 4 can be written as 2 squared minus 25t square can be written as 5t whole square. Now you have a square minus b square equals to a plus b into a minus b. So you can write this as, this is your a, this is your b, so this will become 2 minus 2 plus 5t, 2 plus 5t multiplied by 2 minus 5t. So this will be your answer. Part C is factorize this expression here. So I can see that there's a 6 and there's a 3, so I can bring them together. So I can take 3 as the common value. So let's rearrange them. So this becomes 6cd minus 3dy plus 2cx minus xy. So now I can take 3d common from this first two values. So if I take 3d common, I get 2c minus y plus I only have x common here, so I write x into 2c. This becomes 2c and this becomes minus y. So now 2c minus y is common, so 2c minus y multiplied by 3d plus x. So you can write the answer 2c minus y multiplied by 3d plus x. Question number 23 is the diagram shows the triangle ABC measure angle ABC. So I'll use my protractor here and place it at B. So my 0 should be on this line at BC. Yep, almost. on 0. So if I calculate the angle 90, then 95 here, 96, 97, it's 98. It's almost 98 degrees. So usually in these types of questions where you have to measure using your geometric tools, there's always a range in the marking scheme. So if it's like in between the two values, you can either write 97.5 as well, or 97 or 98 should be fine in most cases as well. So I can write it's almost 98 degrees here. So answer is 98 degrees. Part B is, on the diagram, construct the perpendicular bisector of line AB. So to draw the perpendicular bisector, you place your compass on each of the points. So let's start with point B here. So if I place it at B, and then I have to open it up to more than half the length of line AB. So this is uh, more than half the length. So then I draw the two arcs on each side. So the first one would be here, and the second one would be on this side. And then I do the same by placing the compass on point A. So let me place it at A and bring it down. So this would be one point, and then on the other side, this would be my second point. And then if I join these 2 points by a straight line, that will give you the line bisector for line AB. So this looks good. So let me draw this. So this is your line bisector of line AB, or the perpendicular bisector. On the diagram, part C is, on the diagram, construct the locus of points that are 5 centimeter from C. So how do you draw locus of points at a given distance? You draw a circle of the radius of the given radius. So your radius in this case would be the distance from C, which is 5 centimeter. So let me open my compass up till 5 centimeters. So you place it here on your ruler, and then you open it up till 5. So this is almost 5 centimeter. And then I will place it at this point C, and then draw a full circle like this. So this is the locus of points that are 5 centimeter from C. Part D is, the points P and Q lie on the perpendicular bisector of AB and are 5 centimeter from C. Mark and label points P and Q on the diagram. So your points lie 5 centimeter from C. That means they are on this locus, which is 5 centimeter from C, but they also lie on the perpendicular bisector of AB. So they have to lie on this straight line as well as this circle. So that will be the intersection of the two, which is, first point is this here, which is P, and the second one is this here, which is Q. And then you have to measure the distance PQ. So let me place it here on this intersection, right about here. And then point Q is right here. Let me actually rotate it a little bit so you can see. So this, I'm looking at this intersection point here. So this is almost 4.7 centimeters. So 4.5, and then 4.6, and then 4.7. Two lines after this bigger one. So 4.7 centimeter is my distance PQ. Question number 24 is, the diagram is the speed time graph of part of a train's journey. Calculate the speed when t equals to 5. So t equals to 5 would be right here in the middle between 0 and 10. So if I try to draw a straight line to this graph, so it intersects the graph at this speed, and this is the speed that we need to calculate. So let's call this speed v. Now we know that this is a straight line, so the gradient will be constant no matter where you calculate the gradient on this line. So let's find the gradient, which is also the deceleration because the speed is decreasing and your gradient of speed time graph is acceleration. So in this case, it will be retardation or deceleration because your speed is decreasing. So your retardation will be equal to decrease in speed divided by time taken for that change in speed. So what is the decrease in speed? Your speed decreased from 30 to 12. So this will be 30 minus 12 divided by what is the time taken from 0 till 10 is 10 seconds. So this is 30 minus 12 is 18 divided by 10, which is 1.8 meter per second square. So this is your retardation for this duration between 0 and 10. So it should be 1.8 no matter at which point on this line you calculate the gradient. So now let's calculate the gradient using this point, which y coordinate is v and x coordinate the time is 5, and let's say this one, which is the x coordinate is 10 and y value is, which is the speed, is 12. So again, your retardation will be equal to the decrease in speed. So speed decreased from v to 12. So your decrease was v minus 12, and now your time taken is this much, which is 5 seconds. So 5. And you know that retardation is 1.8. So 1.8 equals to v minus 12 over 5. So if I take the 5 to the other side to cross multiply with this 1.8, so I get 1.8 into 5 equals to v minus 12. 1.8 times 5 would be, let's quickly calculate it. 1.8 times 5, 40, 4 carry, 5 and the 4, 9. 9.0. So 9 equals to v minus 12, and your v will be 12 plus 9, which is equals to 21 meter per second. So your answer here will be 21. Part B is calculate the acceleration. So acceleration is between 40 and 60 where your speed is increasing. This is your deceleration because the speed is decreasing. So you have to calculate this acceleration. So we can use these values, these 2 points, to find the gradient of the graph, which will give you the acceleration. So your acceleration will be given by increase in speed divided by time taken. So what's the increase in speed? Increase in speed is from 12 till 30. So increase is 30 minus 12. And what's the time taken? 60 minus 40, 20 seconds. So 30 minus 12 is again 18 divided by 20, which is, you can simplify it by 2 nines are 18, 2 times 10 is 20. So 9 over 10. So your acceleration is 9 by 10 meter per second square, or 0.9 meter per second square. Calculate the distance traveled from t equals to 40 till t equals to 60. So the distance is the area under the speed time graph. So you have to find this area between 40 and 60. So this is a trapezium whose height is this, which is 20, and it has 2 sides, parallel sides. This is 12, and this here is 30. So your distance d would be 1 by 2 into height, which is 20, into sum of parallel sides 12, say parallel sides 12 plus 30. So 1 by 2 into 20 into 30 plus 12 would be 42. So this becomes 10 if I divide by 2. And then 42 times 10 is 420 meters. So your answer would be 420 meters. Question number 25 is, in the diagram, the equation of the line is AC is 7x plus 5y. So this is your line AC. It has this equation 7x plus 5y equals to 35. Write down the 3 inequalities that define the region inside the triangle ABC. So the 3 boundaries for this triangle ABC here is this line AB, then this line BC, and this line AC. So I can easily find the equation of line AB since it is horizontal. So this equation is, y equals to 5. And since the shaded region is below this line, and you have to define the region that is inside the triangle. So this is not, the boundaries are not included. So this line is y equals to 5. So the region is below. So your inequality will be y is less than 5. Similarly, for the line BC here, the equation is x equals to 4. And since the shaded region is towards the left side of this line BC, your inequality will be x is less than 4. The third line is this AC, and you're given this equation 7x plus 5y equals to 35. So now you have to determine what's the inequality sign that you have to put. So since y is not the subject of this equation, um, I prefer to make y the subject of this equation before I put in the inequality. The inequality will be greater than, because this shaded region lies above this line AC. So let's find the equation in terms of y for this line AC. So 5y equals to 35 minus 7x, and then y equals to 35 minus 7x over 5. So now the inequality will be y is greater than, because your shaded region is above this line. So y is greater than 35 minus 7x whole divided by 5. So why did I make y the subject of the equation? Because sometimes what happens is the sign of this y value is negative. So once you equate it in terms of y, you will have minus y here. So you will have to multiply by minus sign, which actually switches the direction of the inequality. So in that case, although it may look pretty trivial and easy that since the region is above this line, I can straight away put greater than here and write the equation as it is. But I have seen questions in other papers uh, where you actually, if you make y the subject of the equation, you have to multiply by minus signs on both sides at the end because of a minus y value. So that actually flips the inequality. So I always recommend that you make y the subject of the equation, and then put in the greater than inequality. So for example, if the equation was minus y and this was minus y, then this would have been minus y greater than equal to this 35 minus 7x over 5. But to get y, I have to multiply by negative on both sides, which would have made this equation y is less than 35 minus 7x over 5. So this is just an example, not in this case, but I have seen other cases where the inequality sign is actually opposite of what you determine from like looking at the graph. So you might, like looking at this graph, you straight away you can say this is above this line, so the inequality sign would be greater than. But just to make sure that you are doing it correct, always try to make y the subject of the equation and then put in the inequality sign at the end, so that if there is a negative y value at the end, you have to multiply it by negative sign and you have to flip the inequality, and the inequality will be actually opposite to what you determined by simply looking at the graph. But in this case, this wasn't the case where your eventual final inequality was the same that you initially determined by looking at the graph. But I've seen cases where you have to actually flip the inequality sign. So the last part is the line y equals to kx, where kx is an integer, passes through triangle ABC. Find the greatest possible value of k. So k is actually the gradient of this line. So y equals to kx means if this line passes through the origin, because if x is 0, y is equals to k times 0, y would be 0 as well. So this line passes through the origin. Now what would be the highest possible gradient? Because you have to maximize the value of k. So k is the gradient of this line. So, and it passes through the triangle ABC. So it can be like this. This is a straight line, or it could be something like this. Both are passing through the triangle ABC. Which one has a higher gradient? This red line has a higher gradient. So red line will give you a higher value of k compared to this blue line. But what is the maximum possible value of k? What is the maximum possible gradient? So maximum possible gradient is you make this red line even more steeper and make it pass through this point A. So this would give you the highest possible gradient. So let me actually draw it again. So this is your line passing through A. So this will give you the highest possible gradient. You can actually increase the gradient further by moving it more towards this side, like drawing something like this, but then this will be outside the triangle ABC. So your line has to pass through triangle ABC. That means that the maximum possible gradient that you can get is when this line passes through this point A. So now you have to find the equation of this line. So I know that, sorry, find the gradient of this line. So I know that this line passes through the origin. So one point that I have is 0, 0. The other point I have is A. What are the coordinates of A? The y coordinate is 5, and I have to find the other coordinate. So let's call this x. So let's call point A has x coordinate x and y coordinate 5. And this point A also lies on this line AC, and I am given the equation of line AC. So let's use this equation to find the x value, x coordinate of this point A. So I have this equation 7x plus 5y equals to 35. So let's substitute the values of coordinate A, which is x. So 7x plus what is the value of y? 5 times 5. I'm substituting y equals to 5 here. 35. So if I take 25, so 5 times 5 is 25. If I take 25 to the other side, I get 50, 35 minus 25. So I get x equals to 35 minus 25 would be 10 over 7. So now I know that my x coordinate of A is 10 over 7, and now I can calculate the gradient of line y equals to kx. So let me continue here on the top. So now I have 2 points on line y equals to kx. One is 0, 0, the origin, and the other point is A, which is, let me actually write. The other point is A, which is 10 by 7, and the y value is 5. So this is the other coordinate, which is A. So now I can find the gradient of this line, of this green line here. So gradient m would be 5 minus 0 divided by 10 over 7 minus 0. So this gives me 5 divided by 10 over 7. So 5 divided by 10 by 7. So if I change this into a multiplication sign, I'll take the reciprocal here. So that will be 5 into 7 over 10. And that will give me 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10, and this will give me 3.5. So for this green line here, the gradient m equals to k is the gradient, equals to 3.5. But you have to make sure that the value of k is an integer, and k also passes through the triangle ABC. Right now it's passing through this edge. We have to make it pass through this triangle. So let me draw another line, which this black line, which passes through this triangle ABC. So what will be the greatest possible integer value of k? So I know that the value of k for this green line is 3.5 here that we have calculated. So I have to decrease it slightly. I have to decrease the slope. So if I move from this green line to this black line, I'm actually decreasing the gradient, right? And I'm making sure my line passes through the triangle as well. So what is the greatest possible value of k? It should be any integer less than 3.5. So what's the greatest integer less than 3.5? If you draw the number line, 0, 1, 2. Oh, I missed one here. So if you draw the number line 1, 2, 3, and then 3.5 will be somewhere here, actually, not that far away. So the greatest possible integer value would be 3. So k equals to 3 in this case. So we decrease the value of k because we are looking for an integer, and we're also looking for the line to pass through this triangle. So I decrease the slope from this green line to this black line, and my integer value, the greatest possible integer value of k turned out to be 3. So your answer would be 3 in this case. Question 26 is the sequence of diagram shows the pattern made from black beads and some white beads. Each diagram has two rows more than the previous diagram. Complete the table for diagram 5. So you have diagram numbers, total number of beads, and then total number of white and total number of black beads in each diagram. So if you look at this number of beads, you are looking at a sequence where you're taking a square of each term. So this is 9 is 3 square, this is 4 square, this is 5 square, this is 6 square. So then this will be 7 square, which is 49. If you want, no, you're not. You can't. Your diagram 5 is not given, so you'll have to actually draw it and then count the black and white and total beads. That will take too long, so you can just follow the sequence here. And then the number of white beads is just you're adding 3 to get the next term. So you add 3 to 10, you get 13. Then 13 plus 3 is 16, and then 16 plus 3 is 19. So this will be your number of white beads, and then number of black beads is 2, 6, 12, 20. And then if you look closely, this row is actually the subtraction of the other two rows. So 36 minus 16 is 20, 25 minus 13 is 12, 16 minus 10 is 6, 9 minus 7 is 2. So 49 minus 19 will give you 30. Write down an expression in terms of n for the number of white beads in the in diagram n. So number of white beads is given by a sequence where you are adding 3 to the 3 to the previous term to get the next term. So let's see. So your first term, let's call it t1 is 7, and then you add 3. So your second term is 7 plus 3, and then your third term is 7 plus 3 plus 3. So each time you add another 3. So your T4 here would be 7 plus, let me write it here actually. T4 would be 7 plus 3 plus 3 plus another 3. So you keep adding 3 to get the next term. Now to find the sequence, if you look at this, so you are adding, so your Tn would be something like 7, and then you are adding a multiple of 3 plus some multiple of 3. Now what's the multiple of 3? So if you are looking at the third term, you are adding 3 2 times. If you are looking at the fourth term, you're adding 3 3 times. So if you're looking at the second term, you're adding 3 1 time. So you're actually adding 3n minus 1 times, right? So for the fourth term, you will add 3 3 times. So if your n is 4, you n minus 1, 4 minus 1 is 3, and then 3 3s are 9, and that's what you are adding to 7. So let's simplify this. So your Tn would equal to 7 plus, if I multiply this 3, you get 3n minus 3. 7 minus 3 is 4, and then 4 plus 3n. So your answer is 4 plus 3n for the nth term. Part 2 is total number of beads in diagram n. So total number of beads, the total number of beads in diagram n is given by this. So if you have found the expression for this already, you know Tn is this. If you can find the expression for this, you can actually, or in fact, let me do this the other way. Oh, so this is straightforward. This is actually n squared, right? Because the total number of beads in diagram n is given by this, which is simply 3 squared 4 squared, 5 squared, 6 square. So your T1 is 3 square, your T2 is 4 squared, your T3 is 5 squared. So your Tn would be, uh, so your first term is actually uh, 3 squared. So how do I get 3 if my n is 1? So I have to add 2 to the n value and then take the square. So T1 is 3 square. How do I make 1 go to 3? I add 2 to 1. So if I have 1 here, if I'm looking at the first term, I will get n equals to 1 plus 2 squared, and 1 plus 2 is 3, which I get 3 squared, which is the first term here. So your nth term is given by n plus 2 whole square. Part C is find an expression in terms of n for the number of black beads, giving your answer in its simplest form. So for black beads, you know that you subtracted a number of white beads from total number of beads. So you can do the same for the nth value. So your Tn would be total, which is n plus 2 squared, which is this row here, and then minus uh, the white beads. What are the white beads? I found this expression here, this one. Minus 4 plus 3n. So let's simplify this. N plus 2 squared, n squared plus 2n plus 4. And if I open this brackets, I get minus 4 and minus 3n. So plus 4 and minus 4 cancel out. It is equals to 0. Plus 2n minus 3n will be n squared minus n. So this is your simplest form. Your answer would be n squared minus n. So you use the same principle that you used here to find this value of 30, where you subtracted number of white beads from the total beads, 49 minus 19. So you did the same for the nth term, where you subtracted the nth term for the white beads, which is this one, from the total number of beads, which is this one. So let's move on to question number 27. So in the diagram, OP vector is given as this, minus 3 and 4. PQ is 2, 0. Find magnitude of OP plus magnitude of PQ. So you have to find this magnitude OP plus magnitude PQ. In fact, it's a straight line. So how do you find the magnitude? You take the squared values and add them together, and then you take the square root. So this will be OP. For OP, it will be minus 3 squared plus 4 squared, and then whole square root, uh, plus you do the same for PQ, which is 2 squared plus 0 squared, and then whole square root. Uh, so minus 3 squared will become 9 plus 16 whole square root, plus 2 square would be 4, plus 0 would be 0. So this would be just this. Then this is my square root of 16 plus 9, 25, plus square root of 4. And this is square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 4 is 2. So you get 5 plus 2 and equals to 7. Part B is T is the point where PT equals to K times PQ. So PT is K times PQ. So your PQ is this, right? PQ vector is this right here. And then PT, so let's say this is the point, which is T. So this is actually some constant K times PQ. So if you add multiples of PQ, you will eventually land up here. So this length here will be this magnitude here will be multiple of PQ. So you have to express OT as a column vector in terms of K. So I can write OT as, if I go in this direction, OP and then plus PT, right? So this will be OP plus PT. And I'm given OP is minus 3, 4 as a column vector, plus PT is what? K times PQ. So K times PQ is what? 2, 0. So this becomes minus 3 plus 2K, and then 4 plus K times 0. K times 0 would be 0, so 4 plus 0 would be 4. So this will be your answer. Minus 3 plus 2K and then 4. And if you move on to the next part, let me go down. So M is the point such that OT and M lie on a straight line, and OM is 24 and then 16. Find the value of K. So let me erase this. So OT and M lie on the same line. So that means M lies somewhere on this line. It could be here, it could be here, it could be far off here on this line if you extend this. So M can always be represented as K times OT, right? Oh, sorry, not K times any constant. Let's call that constant A. So if you multiply a constant A with OT, I can get OM. So for example, let's assume that M was here, which is double the length. So if this length is this, I add another similar length and I end up at M. So OM, this whole vector is twice the length of OT, and in that case my A would be equals to 2. So in that case my OM will be equals to 2 times OT. But this is not the case. I was just giving an example here. So your M can lie at any point on this line. That means you have to find that constant value A. So my OM is actually some A times sorry, A times OM is A times OT. So now I know the value of OM is, the column vector OM is 24, 16, and OT is, so A times OT would be, I found that in the previous part. So this is minus 3 plus 2K and then 4. So if I multiply this scalar inside, I get 24, 16 equals to A times minus 3 plus 2K and then 4A, correct? So now if I compare these column vectors on either side of the equality sign, my values on the top should equal, and then my values on the bottom should be equal as well. So I can equate those, and then I'll have two equations and two variables, unknown variables, K and A. I can calculate those. So my first equation would be 24 equals to A times minus 3 plus 2K. This is my first equation, and second equation is 16 equals to 4A. So I can clearly use this one so to find the value of A. So from 2, my value of A is 16 divided by 4, which is equals to 4. Now if I substitute this value of A in the first equation, I can actually calculate the value of K. So 24 equals to 4, A is 4, minus 3 plus 2K. So 24 would be equals to 4 times minus 3 is minus 12 plus 8K. So if I take this to the other side, I get 8K equals to 24 plus 12. This gives me 8K equals to 24 plus 12 would be 36, and K will be equals to 36 over 8. I can simplify it. I can divide by 4. So 4 2s are 8 and 4 9s are 36. So you get 9 over 2. So your value of K would be 9 over 2. So this is the end of this paper. This was October, November 2017, paper 1, variant 2.